Every year, Google makes some of the most beautiful live wallpapers for each pixel they release, and unfortunately, a lot of them are only available on those devices. Well, not anymore, because with an app called Wallman, you can get every pixel live wallpaper on any Android you own. And the best part is that some of them are even customizable, just like how you can customize the walls on the Pixels. For example, I can have those same doodles and garden live walls found on the Pixel 4, even changing up the shapes and their placement. I can also have those abstract live walls from the Pixel 5, or I can have those moving flowers from the Pixel 6, or even those moving feathers from the Pixel 7. Hell, I can even get those OG Live Universe walls, or the gradient walls that first came on the original Google Pixel. All available to download for free. A huge thumbs up for that. Now, whenever I copy anything to the clipboard, whether it's text or an image, Android will hold onto it for an hour before automatically deleting it, or until I copy something else. Now that's pretty convenient in most scenarios, but sometimes when I copy sensitive data, like my passwords, credit card info, etc., I start getting a bit paranoid because any app I open can read what I just copied. So that's why I started using Memory Guardian. Not only does it let me instantly clear the clipboard, but it also lets me choose the exact time intervals at which the clipboard gets automatically cleared. So instead of the clipboard taking around an hour to clear, I can have it clear every 15 minutes. Pretty awesome. It would also be neat if the developer could support a quick settings tile to instantly clear the clipboard that way, but it still accomplishes the task. Plus, it's free and open source. By the way, since a lot of you guys showed so much love in the last video of the best Android apps of July, I decided not to include a sponsor in this month's episode as well. So for that, maybe drop a thumbs up, and I'll keep up the cycle of no sponsors for the best app series. Anyways, practically every phone out there has a camera hole punch on the front, unless it's underneath the display, so why don't we make them more useful? Like with this app called Touch the Notch, I can open the camera anytime I tap the cutout, or I can long press it to take a screenshot. When I'm listening to music, I can swipe right on it to quickly switch to the next track, and then swipe left to rewind or go back. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Within the app, there are so many more actions and gestures that you can choose from. Pretty useful. As most of you know, the Nothing Phone 2 was released last month, and it came with some awesome new widgets that look phenomenal. I mean, I started to love them so much that I was looking for new ways to get them working on any Android. The first way was to recreate them with the KWGT app. So that's what we did. My team created almost identical versions of the weather widgets, analog clock, health widget, and even an extra music player that fits the monochrome theme. We also made them extremely customizable within the KWGT global settings, and we also created these exclusive walls to go along with them, which I think fit the theme perfectly. You can find all of these Nothing-inspired widgets and wallpapers on our Patreon linked down below. Or you can also download an app called Nothing 2.0 for KWGT. This pack also gives you widgets that match Nothing's new style with large open space shapes, rounded corners, dotted text, and that monochrome theme with a hint of red. Looks great on the home screen, but unlike ours, they're not exact replicas and aren't as customizable, only letting you change the colors. Still, I dig them, and the developer was kind enough to provide me with 50 promo codes to give away on our Patreon, so if you join, you'll get 2 for the price of 1. And speaking of promo codes, we also dropped hundreds of them on our Patreon for other apps like the KWGT Pro Key, SD Mate 2, and Castro, so make sure you join quickly to also get those apps for free. A huge thanks to all those developers for supporting the channel. Anyways, I'm sure most of us have been there where we wanted to take a group photo without anyone holding the camera, and we also wanted that higher quality, so we used the rear lenses instead of the front. But as a result, multiple retakes had to be done since you couldn't see the viewfinder or even control the camera. Well, SayCheese solves this issue because it lets you remotely control your phone's camera with another phone. So for example, I can have my Pixel 7 Pro be the designated shooter while I control it with another device like the Galaxy S23. I can see the Pixel's viewfinder live without any lag, and I can control it without a problem, like zooming in or out, switching between lenses, choosing when to shoot the shots, recording a video, etc. It works really well and the phones connect without a problem, And it even works on the iPhones and iPads. The only inconvenience is that you need to have the app installed on both devices for it to work. Still, the app size isn't that big. It's only 24 megabytes, so downloading shouldn't take that long. Some of you may not know this, but some websites can be turned into apps. Kind of. I mean, they look and work like any other real app where the address bar is removed and there aren't any other browser elements, but they're still websites. Not every site supports this, but with an app called Web App, you can force them to become one. I, for one, turned all of my favorite tech sites into web apps to access them much more quickly from the home screen. Plus, it came with a few extra perks, like the ads get automatically blocked, and the blank space where the ad used to sit also gets removed for a clean page. I can also force the site to become dark, block any pop-ups, and more. Works like a charm. One of my all-time favorite weather apps has always been Geometric Weather because it's completely free and open source, has a beautiful looking interface, and it provides so much weather information for any city. The only problem is that it hasn't been updated in over a year. Luckily, a forked version called Breezy Weather has just been released last month, and it's actively being updated with new features. It's made the front text more prominent and centered. It's brought back the air quality card, which was broken before on the original app. The settings are a lot more organized. It supports a lot more weather providers, and it even lets me know how long ago I refreshed the forecast in the top left corner. I'm sure there will be more features and improvements in the future, so keep an eye on Breezy Weather. Switching over to the games, this first one is called Mental Hospital 6. It's a pretty intense horror game. You play as a reporter who works for a small local newspaper and is looking to find out what happened inside a psychiatric hospital, only bringing a camera and notebook. Yeah, it's not the most realistic storyline out there, but it works. The graphics are what really save the game, because it does make it extra creepy, especially when you actually get inside the haunted hospital. That's when things start to get really scary. Plus the sounds really add to the suspense. The controls aren't the best since they're not very customizable, and you need a relatively high-end device to play this game. Otherwise, you'll need to lower the graphics so it doesn't lag. And with crappier graphics, the game won't be as scary or enjoyable, but I still had fun playing it, especially since I don't see many decent horror mobile games nowadays. This one is definitely one of the better ones, and it's even a sequel, so if you like it and play the whole way through, you can also play the previous versions. Dumb Ways to Climb is a lot less dark, but it could actually make you a lot more tense. It's made by the developers who created the famous Dumb Ways to Die series, but this newer version is not like the rest, and it's got a twist in graphics. The game is pretty simple. You're just jumping on random obstacles, trying to climb higher and higher, and if you fall off, you need to start over, which is really annoying. It's the same concept as popular game titles like Climb Up or Getting Over It. The graphics and controls are just not as good, but being that it just got released a few days ago and it's completely free, I give it a pass. I'm hoping that in the future it'll get a lot better. For now, it's a decent start. Stepping away from fancy 3D graphics, Rotoforce is a bullet hell game with fast-paced action and simple maps. The objective is to run around in a shape-like world, trying to shoot down anything that pops up. You can even jump and dash between walls to avoid enemies. And as you advance in the game, the levels get a lot more chaotic, so it'll really test your reactions. Luckily, the controls are pretty good, but they do take some time to get used to. The graphics and sound effects are also amazing, especially since there are different designs for each world you play. It's not a game for everyone, but it is the perfect option for someone looking to kill time for the long haul. Anyways, click this video right here to see a full playlist of the best Android apps. If you downloaded at least one app or game, a quick thumbs up would be really appreciated because finding these wasn't easy. Either way, thanks for sticking to the end and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Kapow!